What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Code Monkey, and today we are working on the second installment of the HTML tutorial. So, as you can see, I just popped open the favorite snacks, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink this down over here, and what I want to show you is last time, well, I'm going to teach you a few things. But, last time I said open in a new tab, and I didn't show you guys it's this button over here, so hopefully you caught on to that. If not, now you can see if you followed along with the code, but weren't able to preview it here. Now you can. So, let's just hop straight into things. So, what I want to do right now is I want to show you guys about, the HR tag, and this is it's called HR as in horizontal line. And what this does is it can create separation. So if you do this, and then I pop it open, you can see there's now a line here across the screen. And this is super cool for separating stuff where you do lists of like 1, 2, and 3. So what I like to do personally, now this is up to you, I like to do 2 HRs. And it's just an opening, you don't need a closing tag for an HR. I like to put 2. I personally like it, I think it gives it a nice look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in between each of these, and I'm going to say HR. And I pop down here, I'm going to say HR. And I'm then going to pop down here, and I'm going to say HR, and another HR. And then what I'm going to do is, because this is the end of the site, after here, instead of putting 2, I'm just going to stick 1 down there. And I think this gives it a nice look. So you have 2 up here, you have 2 up here, 2 up here, and then 1 down there. And what I might actually do is I might only stick 1 up here, and just see how that looks. So, there you go. I think that looks nice. So you got 1, and then you have 2, 2, 2. But you know what, no, I don't know. Yeah, I'll just throw in another one. It's not really that important. So, that's the HR tag, and, yes, so that's really cool. I don't know, I just like it to use for, like, when you're separating things, like I said. So, when you're doing, like, a list. So, what I'm gonna show you now is you have this index.html, and this is where all your HTML goes. You have this script.javascript, and then your CSS down here. So I'm going to kind of give you the best description I can of HTML and CSS, because today I'm going to teach you some extreme basics of CSS. So, HTML, I would say, is like think of it as a cake. A website is a cake. So, that index HTML, that HTML that you're writing here is your base. That's just your cake. There is no frosting on it, no decorations, anything, no candles. It's all just this is all the, how would I say it? This is all just the cake that it's the batter, and then you stick it in the oven and you cook it. The CSS is adding the frosting and the decorations and sticking the candles on it. And the JavaScript is a little bit less used than the other two, but what the JavaScript is it's being able to light the candles on fire. Or if you're in a house, the HTML is the base, just the house. The CSS is the furniture, and the JavaScript is working plumbing, working water system, that kind of stuff. Being able to, the doors functioning properly, the garage door working. So the JavaScript is interactive. But the CSS, I'm going to teach you about JavaScript in a little bit, but the CSS is styling the website. So, you guys don't need to do this, but you should click down here if you're using Replit, your CSS down here. And what you're going to do, or what I'm going to do, don't do this, is I'm going to show you how basic CSS works. So, your whole website is your HTML. So, HTML, and then you're going to go curly brackets. And whatever CSS you type inside of here will be applied to the whole website. Now, let's say you don't want any of this CSS applied to the whole website. You want it applied to the body only, which technically is still all of our website, because all of our stuff is only in the body. So in this certain scenario that we are in, if you were to do body or HTML, it's going to do the exact same thing. But in other scenarios, when there's stuff in your head and all that, you're going to style that. You would want to use the body instead of HTML. And then you type your CSS in here, right? But what we're going to do is, you can, or what I was going to show you can do, you can also go like H1, and this will style specifically your H1s. Or, if you want to do the same style to all of them, because there's like, because up here, if we go back to our HTML, we have an H1, we have an H2 right here, and we have an H3. So, that you can't just say H, though, and have it do it for all of them. That won't work. What you're going to do is you're going to go H1, comma, H2, comma, H3, and then you're going to pop in your curly brackets, and then you type your CSS in here, and it will do whatever you type in there for all of those. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you some basic CSS to make the website look a little bit nicer. So now this is the part where you guys actually get to do some coding. So we're going to go body, because we want to do this to the whole website. And we're going to go text align. And we're going to, you can either say, you know, right, you can go left, or you can go center. And we're going to center all of it on the screen, because it looks much nicer in my opinion. And then, we're going to change the background color. Now, you guys can go ahead and do whatever you want. Yeah, you guys feel free to do whatever color you want. They have all these presets. There's blue. If I type in B, you can see all the B presets. C, D, G, all the, there's no Q. There's no E. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. There's a bunch of different presets for colors, and I want to do purple. I think, I love purple, I'll tell you that much. So, then if we pop in here, already starting to look much better. The only thing is, though, is these HRs that we added in are white, and the text is black. And black and purple don't go that well together, in my opinion. So let's change the color of the text. Now, we said background color for the background. So we should say text color for the text. Well, wrong, actually. CSS is weird, coding is weird, and instead of it being text color, when you want to color the text, you just do color. So, I'm gonna go white smoke, because I like it a lot. I like that more than white. It's super similar, there's barely a difference, but I just like it a little bit more. And then there you go. So, you have to say color, white smoke, or whatever you guys are gonna do. These colors are completely up to you. You guys can do whatever you want with those colors. And from there, yeah, so that's done with the styling for the body. And as you can see, our website looks much, much nicer already. But there's still a few more things I want to do. Now, when I download my images off of Pixabay, I always size them to the smallest, I make them as small as possible, because when you do this, when it downloads it quicker so you can pop it in here. If you want to make that image super big, for one, it's not going to fit on your website, and for two, it's going to take forever to download, and before you can even drop it in. So I make them super small, and I always make them the smallest choice available, which is always the same. It's 640 pixels by whatever else. I don't know it off the top of my head. So all my images are the same size because I downloaded them the same size. But if you didn't, let me show you how to fix that. So you come down here and you go IMG, and you put those curly brackets in, and you go width. And then what you can do here is you can either say width equals, and we could say 640 pixels. And what this is going to do is absolutely nothing, because the width of the image was already that much. But we can see, if I was to do 700, it will change slightly. That image is a little bit bigger. It might be pretty hard to tell because it's a very slight difference. Now, you can either do that, you can choose a number of pixels, or what you can do is you can do a percentage. And I could say 80%. Now, this is going to be absolutely huge, because when I say 80%, it's not like, because you can't determine if it's like a percentage compared to what, is what you might ask. Well, it's going to be a percentage compared to the screen. So you're going to be doing width is 80% of the total screen. So that's obviously huge. And for some of you, this might work. I don't like it. I like that I downloaded them all at 640 pixels. So I would normally not change the width, but just so I have it here for you guys, in case you want to, I'm going to say 640 pixels, just like that, which is going to be the exact same as I downloaded it, so it's not going to change anything, but it'll be there, so if you're looking into my code to figure something out, you can see, oh, well, maybe it's the width that I needed to change right there, so you guys can tell that. Now, this is probably the most advanced CSS thing I'm going to teach you today, in this video. And that's going to be how to do a border around an image. Now, it's not super difficult, but this one might take a little bit. So, the first thing is border. That's the easiest part. Now, a border has 3 different parameters. It has how thick you want the border to be. So, you guys could say 5 pixels, and you have to do this in pixels. So, you could say 5 pixels, and that's cool. You could say 1 pixel, and that's cool. That's up to you. You guys can fiddle around with that and see how you like it. I, personally, from experience, like doing 2.5 pixels, so I'm going to do that. Then, you put a space, and the next parameter is the type of border you're putting on it. Is it a dashed border? Is it 2 lines? Is it solid, which is a 1 line? Is it grooved? So we're just going to go solid. And then, you gotta choose a color. So, let's go with white smoke, and that'll match the text. And then, you put that semicolon after it. So, after this first bit right here, you put that regular colon, and then you do the parameters for it. So, you type in what you want to style, the color, the background, the text align, and then you type in the parameters for it. Now, with text align, you're only gonna do 1 parameter. With background color, you're only gonna do 1 parameter. Same thing for width and white and the color up here. But with the border, you have to do multiple parameters. So you type in what you want to style, border, and then you type in the parameters. And this is going to look like it's really nice. It gives you a nice, a thin, not super thick, but also not too thin that you can't even see it, border around it. And as you can see, let me just show you the difference here. If I just take this out, I'm going to control exit, don't do this, so I can paste it back in later. But you can see the difference between that and, here we go, this. If I pop these open, I mean, tell me which one looks much nicer, which one looks much more professional. Obviously the one with CSS. So when you're making a website, you make that base with the HTML, but then you add all that other stuff in with CSS. Now, this is very basic CSS, just like the last video was very basic HTML. I got a little bit more advanced teaching you how to do an HR. But, I mean, this is super basic, and as we get, I'm going to do the next video will be probably basic JavaScript, and then we'll start advancing into doing much more stuff with this, this website's actually done. So you guys can show this website off now, and if you showed off the last one, that's totally awesome. But, this website's done, so you guys can show that off. We're going to create a new website so I can show you how to do JavaScript stuff. So, when the next video comes out, you'll be creating a new REPL. So, yeah, I'm going to show you how to do some JavaScript stuff, make some interactive websites, so that the person viewing the site actually has something to click on. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and you learned how to use that HR tag and some basic CSS stuff. I personally like CSS the most, but that's just me. I like styling the thing and making it look really pretty. So hopefully you guys learned something from this, and I will see all you guys in the next video.